We are back with very special guest Jamie McLean. Jamie, welcome to Hayes' Hard Drive.
Thanks so much for having me, man. Great talking with you.
Absolutely, man. We just appreciate you taking up your time to come on the show and talk about what's going to be going on here in Durham, May the 24th. The Jamie McLean Band will be in Durham at the Blue Note Grill. The Duke Street Dogs will go on at 6, I believe, and Jamie and the boys will kick it off around 9 o'clock, I believe. And Jamie, this is actually your second go-round here in North Carolina this year. You opened up for Mark Broussard for 3 shows earlier in the year. What was it like being able to, work with Mark and do those shows with him earlier in the year?
Oh man, that tour was a total blast. I mean, we've been lucky enough to tour with Mark quite a bit. It's just a lot of fun musically. I think it's a great fit, and hanging out backstage and after the shows and stuff, we're all just really good friends. So we kind of call it like a summer camp. We get to go out and hang out with our buddies on this tour, and it's just really fun.
You,
And yeah, we were at the Hall River Ballroom, and we're all over the Carolinas.
I believe you were in Charlotte
And
and Asheville as well. And am
yep,
I right that you guys did you guys do some studio work there in Asheville? Mark had mentioned that maybe he was going to be doing some studio work there in Asheville.
we did. We're lucky because we love what we do. So we had one day off on this entire tour, and we happened to be in Asheville, and we decided to book studio time at Echo Mountain, which is a beautiful recording studio in Asheville. And we went in, and what we did is we recorded. Jamie McLean Band was in there the whole time, and then on a few songs we brought in Mark and his entire band. So we had 2 drummers, um, 2 guitars. Mark and I were trading off on vocals and stuff. So we basically had this kind of super group going. And the result of that is some recordings that we're going to be releasing. Jamie McLean Band's going to be putting out an album of covers later this summer. And we did a bunch of stuff with Ivan Neville and Dirty Dozen Brass Band and Anders Osborne. And then we brought in Mark. So it's going to be an album of covers done in kind of a unique spin with a bunch of special guests. So that was kind of the last session we did with Mark. And the collaborations have just been so much fun on tour that we decided to go ahead and record it, because I'll get up with those guys and play, and then Mark will get up with me and sing, and then at the end we're all kind of on stage at the same time. So it was just an extension of that, and you can keep your eye out for that covers album this summer.
That sounds absolutely awesome. I mean, having the collaboration and you guys, speaking of the summer, you're going to be back with Mark again in New York City, I believe, at the City Winery. Is that correct? I think in July.
Yep, we're linking back up this summer for some dates in the Northeast this time. We did a big tour of the Southeast, and now we'll be doing 2 nights in New York and 2 nights in Boston, and we'll probably be adding some more to that. But yeah, we like I said, we have a ball playing together. I think the crowd really responds to it. The bands are different enough, but also kind of similar enough that you get a really great night of music. And we love to go out and package as much as we can with the 2 bands.
Speaking of sharing the stage, you are a former guitarist for one of the most unique voices in the industry, Aaron Neville. What was it like working with him?
Well, I'm actually still working with Aaron right now. He doesn't tour a whole lot, so I'm lucky that I'm able to juggle it. Whenever I get some downtime with my band, I end up going out with Aaron. So we're still working together. Man, he is one of the most recognizable voices, in music history. Um, he could literally sing the phone book, and it's going to sound good. And the one thing that I've really taken away from working with Aaron is, on stage he's a legend. Off stage, he is one of the nicest guys you could ever be with, and one of the nicest people you could ever work with. There's no attitude, there's no special treatment. Everybody's all together. He's always checking in on the guys. Aaron calls me all the time and texts me all the time, just saying, hey, and hope you're doing well and checking in. And, that it's nice to see that because, he's one of the more famous people I've ever worked with. And, he doesn't bring any of that other stuff to it, which, sometimes you can see with certain artists where there's a little bit of an attitude or they think they're, a little bit bigger than their britches, and this is just the opposite. And it's something that I try to take with me wherever I go. I really, just on and off the stage, I just try to be a solid person, and that's really something I've taken from Aaron. He's lovely to work with.
You've also shared stages with the late Greg Allman, Taj Mahal, the Blues Travelers, Trombone Shorty, Los Lobos. I mean, basically, I'm just name dropping right now, and I know that with everybody that you're just talking about this with Aaron, that there's something that you can pick up from each person that you work with, that you can put in your back pocket about how to be a better musician, whether it's on stage, off stage. Is there anyone in particular that you have an interesting story with that you work with that you're like, man, this was really cool and happened while we're out with them on tour or working a show?
Oh God. I mean, like you said, all of them in their own ways, have sort of rubbed off out on me. For me to get off stage with my band and Greg Allman walks into our dressing room and says, "Hey guys, you really lit a fire out there on stage tonight. Hope you save some for me." And, just to have words of encouragement from someone like Greg Allman or Taj Mahal or Aaron Neville, it's just affirming, and all of those guys you mentioned, they're all in the same boat. They're legends on stage, and then off stage they couldn't be more genuine and nice. We've been lucky to work with Derek Trucks a lot, Tedeschi Trucks Band, and Derek is the nicest guy on the planet. It's just crazy how, these guys take the time out to ask how everybody else is doing. And that's really the big takeaway for me from all of these guys is, no matter what you're doing on stage, you've got to just be a good person. And I think that really comes out in the music. I think when you've got that sort of aura about you, the positivity it's going to translate into the music. So, all of those guys I feel so lucky to have played with and shared stages with and recorded with and hung out and had beers after the show with. I mean, it's really more than I ever thought would be possible. And I love every minute of it. We're just going to keep it rolling.
I think for those of us out there that are not a part of the music world, we go to our jobs, we work our jobs, and when we get done, we're normal people, and that's readily acceptable. Whereas we think that musicians, they're supposed to be something different when they're off work, that they should act differently, and really, you guys you're just like us. Your job is on the stage, and then when you come off the stage, your fathers, your husbands, you have moms and dads just like everybody else, and being a good person and kind to everybody is a universal thing, not just for people working the 9 to 5 job, and I think it kind of amazes us that, oh wow, that guy's just like me, but that's Greg Allman, So
yeah, I mean, I get starstruck just like everybody else, but everybody's human, man. At the end of the day, everybody's got stuff going on in their lives, and it's just nice to be able to connect and trade some stories and tell some jokes and just to get to be friendly with these people on and off stage, and and then to have a guitar in your hand and go and make some music with them. That's even that much cooler. So this covers record that Jamie McLean Band's going to be releasing is definitely going to be something I'm really excited for people to hear. We haven't kind of released any of it, so we're just going to drop this thing. And I've just been listening to the mixes and stuff. I've kind of been more excited than I even thought I was going to be. Listening back to the stuff, I'm just like, damn, this stuff is really good. And it's just that community atmosphere where we, I booked a studio during Jazz Fest in New Orleans and just kind of invited everybody under the sun to come, and people just started rolling in, and it was just a party. And there was no sheet music or long discussions. We just said, hey, let's go do this tune, figure out what key it's in, who's going to sing what, off we go. And then magic happens. It's really really an exciting project. I'm psyched for it to come out.
Well, last year, I believe in February, the Jamie McLean Band released your album One and Only, and you're talking about a community. Once again, this album features Sam Bush, and for those people who might not know who Sam Bush is, he was formerly of the band Newgrass Revival. Jeff Coffin from the Dave Matthews Band, also on the album. You were talking about the process for your current upcoming album and how you did that. What was the process for One and Only in terms of writing and producing this album?
Well, the writing process is always an extremely elusive process. I mean, I always say it's like trying to capture lightning in a bottle. You never quite know when a song's going to come. And, more than anything, I've just lately been really just trying to be good about sitting down and putting the guitar in the hands and putting the time in. Like you're going to work. Let's go work on this and get some songs. And while I was writing for One and Only, this was a time where I was spending a lot of time and making a lot of regular trips down to Nashville and doing a lot of writing there and working with some producers and getting with different songwriters and just trying to, be active in the Nashville songwriting scene as much as I could, and literally just booking sessions, 2 a day where I'm just hammering out the writing process. And a lot of the songs ended up coming from just me on my own. A lot of the co-write stuff didn't quite make the cut. A couple of them did, but more than anything, it just got the creative juices flowing, the songwriting juices. And that influence of Nashville was a big one, and not necessarily in the, people kind of think of Nashville as just country music, and there is some of that, but there's just a ton of people there that are trying to write great songs. So the idea of great songwriting really rubbed off on me. And so the songwriting process, it's always different. There's days when a song will literally fall in your lap and it writes itself in about 3.5 minutes, but most of the time you're hammering away at it, and it takes a couple days or a few hours or a couple weeks go by and you finish something. But it was a lot of time in Nashville. A lot of stuff was also written in New York, and just on some vacations when I can just turn off the phone and really focus on the writing. So that was a big push to get the songwriting really focused, and then one thing led to another, and we just decided, well, hey, we're writing these tunes in Nashville. Let's go ahead and record them. And I was connected with Ken Coomer, who used to play drums in Wilco, and he ended up producing the record and just did a fantastic job producing it. And while we were in town, we were thinking of guests to bring in, and I've known Jeff Coffin from Dave Matthews Band for years and years and years, and he was nice enough to come in and play some saxophone. And then we've done some touring with Sam Bush, and Sam always said, if you ever need mandolin, here's my cell phone number. So that was a pretty nice little connection to have. And Sam came in the studio for the better part of a day. He came in almost for an entire day and recorded on a number of the songs. And you can see a lot of that footage is up on our YouTube page, where Sam comes in and plays on Virginia, and there's a lot of studio footage with him that you can check out, which is cool. And we're just really proud of the music. I mean, I think they're the strongest songs I've written to date, and the recording is beautiful, and the guests, and it's an album that I'm extremely proud of.
You can see Jamie live in Durham on May the 24th at the Blue Note Grill. Get your tickets by going to BlueNoteGrill.com. If you want to know more about the Jamie McLean Band, very simply, JamieMcLeanBand.com. I want to thank Jamie so much for being on the show. It has been an absolute pleasure to get to talk with him. Off of that new album that we've been talking about, One and Only, it is You're Not the Only One. This is Delane Hayes, and you're listening to Hayes' Hard Drive.